The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of RMCOnAir.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
It's a blessing to see people.
Yo, what's up? Good evening. Welcome. It's Just Sports with Sonny Wells. In studio today, of course, one of my co-hosts, Smitty, and then I got my boy in here. Drug him all the way down to 405. He didn't know he was coming here. I kind of tricked him a little bit, but I got him anyway.
Right.
Brother's name is, we call him affectionately DC. That's because he's from the DC area, but his real name is Cliff Wallow. Now, I'm going to tell you the story about Cliff Wallow. You guys trying to ask me what was going on.
Yeah, I want to know.
That. I was born in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Okay.
And it was a family we were real close to up there named the Burks. The Burks had a real cute daughter. I thought I was going to marry her.
Okay.
Because after she got about 14, 15, she was fine. Oh, man. And but before that, she was like goofy and a brainiac, you know, real smart. Anyway, I left when I was 9, went to New Jersey. And Cliff went up to Alaska. I was working on a pipeline. He met her.
Oh,
they got married.
Oh.
So they stayed married for a while, and then they split up for whatever reason and still remain friends with the family still to this day. And my mother told me one time, she said, Wanda's ex-husband is in the Los Angeles area, and he deals a lot with basketball. At that time, I was working at a place called Tempo Barbershop on Slauson, Vermont. And so I said, well, send him on up. He's a basketball guy, send him on up. He came up, man. We hit it off. We've been friends ever since. And we're talking 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. My boy from way back, he does whatever he can, if he can, when he can. He's never said no.
Wow.
You know, man, just a
what
great guy.
What is a coincidence of meeting the same young lady in life like that?
Yeah.
Like wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, man, it was funny because we ended up working at the same time for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay.
Yeah. We were both on tour at the same time. We looked up, and we didn't think it was really that far-fetched because that's how deep we were into basketball.
Now, you were announcing. What were you doing, DC?
Well,
DC.
Basically, I was making sure Globetrotters got everywhere. I was driving.
Okay, I got you.
Got mostly organized some of the rims.
Okay.
You know, and it was just, a funny thing that me and Sonny actually got closer after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But to being on tour and knowing each other, it's funny how at that time we both needed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it both kind of boosted us in the basketball community actually.
Okay.
Because you know, wherever there was basketball, I look up. Both of us was there.
Yeah.
We was always there. You know, I did the Summer Pro League and the Joe Weekly Run, Shoot, and Dunk and all that Nike stuff. Everybody who was in the basketball community was always there, including us.
Right.
So he knows a lot of the same people I know.
Okay.
For sure.
Most of the same people I know.
Yes.
But it's a great way to travel, see the world free, and meet people and learn to adapt, you know, in life. It's, you know, a different city every day.
Right.
And meet a lot of people, friends, you know, along the way. You can always go back. You know, if you're going across country, if you met some people, you can go stop in and see them. It's like because there's a lot of things in the United States that people really haven't seen.
Right.
They go to other countries, but it's beautiful places all over here, like the Northwest, you know, the East and North, that places I never would have got to see if it wasn't for the Globetrotters.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Same here. I did the my first leg. I did South America. Then we came back and did a domestic tour.
Right.
Then next year, following year, I went to Europe, Spain, Europe, Canada. It was great. You know, it's just living the dream. You know, you're out there on the road, and they're paying you to see the world.
Right.
So it's just like he says. You know, you go and you make contacts with people, and you know, it's for a lifetime. You can always go back, you know, as long as you keep in touch. And it was really, really great to do that.
Well, people also got to understand that even like even basketball, just being around basketball, if you love the game, it's not really all the time about, it's great to make the NBA money, but you're really being realistic. It's like 350, 400 players. They're going to be great players.
Yes.
So you have to find your nick to like what you can do in basketball to make you happy.
Right.
Because there's other ways of being happy. I mean, money, you know, it's the means, but it's just like to see other kids or other people happy, you know, to help other people along the way. And then if my father always told me, like, don't do everything for money.
Right.
Do it from your heart, and you're going to get paid.
Yes.
Now, that's what.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
That's what he's on the verge of doing now. He's like, we end up at gyms, and we're always looking at the talent and what the talent can do and what it possibly could do. And, you know, from what we've seen over the years, of course, I came out here to play pro ball. That's what I wanted to do.
That was your dream.
That was my dream.
Hoop dream.
But after you got out here and
Yes.
you saw how it was, it's like, okay, you know what? That's not really the arena that I think that I can thrive in, because you have to be at the right place at the right time
Yes.
and all of that. So
Yes.
it's like, okay, I love the game. I'm going to stay around it, just like he was alluding to. And we both have stayed around it. And now, like, I coach at Lawndale High,
Right.
JV and varsity, and do a little bit of freshman. And I coach in the leagues around here. So it is a joy to be able to be around the game and be active like that. He does the same thing, but he's getting ready to be able to go and get the kids that can make it to the pro level.
Okay.
He's identified like a few of them. We were in the barbershop talking, and he's got some other people that work with him, and he'll be one of the top sports guys around to be able to
Okay.
pick talent. Probably in the next 2 or 3
Is
years.
that like
I'm
a
gonna be on his
sports
coattail.
agent
He don't
or
know.
what?
Hey, he don't know. I'm gonna be
Okay.
right there with him. Like, come on, man. Let's go check out that boy down there, huh?
Oh, well,
You were telling me
it's
about
like-
it. Let's go see him.
It's
huh?
like
Let's
a
go
lot of times
see him.
people, it's like I always, like, when I look at a person,
Yeah.
I always see, like, you know, it's easy to see the bad.
Right.
People, I just see, like, potential. I always thought about, like, the good.
Right.
And I always thought people could always get better. That's even in life, basketball, whatever. You know, because there's no perfect people, no perfect person. And I've done wrong. Everybody's done something he's
Yeah.
been ashamed of. But you still have to see good in people in this life. I mean, you know, you go through life and it's negative. I always thought, my mother's always tell me, you can't add negative and positive,
Right.
but come up with less.
Yes.
It always has to be positive.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times people will just, it's not about pushing people down, it's about building.
Yeah.
Even if it's like they might not be a pro. Like I say, you can't, only a certain amount of people are going to be a pro. And that's what I see a lot of parents need to stop pushing kids, but be the greatest you can be in whatever you be.
Well, what level of student are you looking at? Junior high, high school, or
I basically, you know, it seems like, you know, I really don't really like try to judge kids
Okay.
like that level, because it's hard. I just don't like to put that kind of pressure on kids.
I got you.
think, you know, it's hard enough to survive and enough as it is.
Yeah.
The parents need to really stop that, you know. If they kid, I figure my kid, I don't care if I was a pro basketball player, if my kid wanted to play the saxophone, if I had to push him to be the best saxophone player. My kid wanted to play hockey. And then at that time, how many black kids that played hockey?
yeah.
But he was 8 years old. I pushed him to play hockey. Now he coaches hockey, but, you know, and he played big. And he was happy, because you know what? Bottom line, it was his life,
Yeah.
you know? And that's what people got to understand. Kids, you can push kids into things they don't want to do. Oh, because I did that, so what? It's still his life. We're a little bit of everybody. We know you're a little bit of your mother and father, but it's still you. No person on this planet like you,
Yeah.
or like Sonny. Everybody have their own knack, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, DC's being real modest right now, being real,
Okay.
real laid back and all that. But that's okay, because, you know, still my boy. But he's able to take a look at talent. I can do it some too, but there's not very many people that can do that.
Okay.
Who can take a look at kids, even at that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
age group that you were talking about,
Yes.
you guys referring to, that can see that, hey, you know what?
there.
It's there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's there.
The it factor.
Either
Yeah.
you got it or you don't.
You don't, right.
Bottom line, I mean, you know, you just can't. It's like some things innate.
Yes.
It's God given.
Yeah.
Some people just have talent. That's the problem. A lot of kids, they won't work. So
Right.
that's what it is now. I already got it. They have that. I already know. already.
I have arrived.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hold on to that thought because when we move to the college football, I want to ask a question about Jameson. I've just been checking him out a little bit closer lately.
So
when we make that transition.
Well, let's transition now. Okay, the two big games, the top #1 football team, Alabama against.
They had the top 4 teams in the playoffs here. Like you said, Alabama and Ohio, and then they had Oregon and Florida State.
Let's hear about your thoughts on that.
Well, I was rooting for Florida State, but it didn't take long to realize that Oregon took control of the game, and we saw why that quarterback, what is his name? Mariotti won the Heisman Trophy. That's my feeling. And not just him, the whole team played at a level that you can see why they're in the finals in terms of the playoffs.
Well, there's no substitute for speed.
Yeah.
See, basically, I saw that Oregon was faster, but individually, I still think Jameson is a better prospect.
Well, that's what I wanted to see, but he wasn't able to prove that.
Well, I think a couple of passes, and I went to the game.
The guys dropped the ball.
No, he had a lot of drops.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was the one throw that he made for a touchdown that he threw the ball back across the green. It was one of the hardest throws.
Yes.
And I like Mariotti, but on that next level, and here's another thing what people are missing. In the number of the years,
yes,
we're judging a 90-year-old, and nothing knocking Mariotti. He's 22, I think.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 3 years of development.
That's a big difference.
So now, like I said, I'm not knocking Mariotti. He's a great college player.
Right.
But on the next level, if I have to pick, I would take James.
You would.
Size, 6'5", 6'4", 240.
Yeah.
He throws a hard ball.
Yes.
And Mariotti has a touch ball, but his ball is not a zip.
Yeah. Well, I want to, like you were talking earlier about looking at a young person and you don't hold their problems against them because we all have problems. And Jameson had problems. But I'm beginning to wonder now, I was just looking at him, in that transition that he's going to make, is he going to keep it together mentally?
But basically,
to be able to perform on that level you're talking about.
But the thing about it, he has to surround his group. He has to surround himself around people that are positive,
right,
and get rid of the negative people.
Yeah,
the hanger-ons and the cronies.
Right.
See, because everybody, all that comes along. I mean, because it's gonna be somebody you owe me. I grew up with you. That always come into play.
Yeah.
I mean, you love him, your cousin, or whatever. It could be a friend.
Right.
So now he has to learn if he can separate that.
Yes.
And I think he's matured. I mean, he's only, like I said, 19.
Right.
But I don't want to condemn it, and I'm not trying to make points on other people, but I've noticed that there has been some NFL players that have done some things.
Well, Johnny Manziel. I'm
even not even that. That's how I said I don't want to link it. I don't
but that's a perfect example.
Right, but I mean, even a couple of other, Roethlisberger, Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, you gotta like,
Pac-Man's a model citizen now.
But exactly, but he was at strip clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, but here's a kid that's in college.
Yeah.
He made some, he crab legs. Oh yeah, I understand. But who hasn't stuck their hand in the cookie jar?
But see, that's what I'm looking at. And just
19.
looking at him, I realize. But physically looking at him, he's able to play the game at a high level. But I'm looking at his mental process.
We're still
there.
looking at 19.
Yeah,
because we're looking at from guys like me, you and Sonny and I, right?
Yeah.
But now we grew up in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
This kid's growing up in iPhone, high tech.
Yes.
Boom. So you got to throw that all in. So where's the concrete stuff? Not knocking his parents or nothing. So and then you build these kids up.
Right.
So where you got to get a letdown somewhere.
Well, that was his letdown the other day. He said first game he's lost in a long time.
Yeah, but then I heard that he didn't go to the locker room like everybody else.
Okay.
He went over and he congratulated everybody. So he showed a little class there.
Yeah.
The people are not knocking that. And other Oregon people, they kind of ridicule him.
I noticed when that running back fumbled the ball a couple of times, he corralled him and comforted him.
That's like I'm saying.
Yes.
I understand. Off the field, on the field.
Yes.
He's a different animal.
He's on the field guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and so off the field, even Manziel, he off the field.
Right.
And I know numerous NBA ball players. They need to sleep at the gym.
I'm raising that question. I know Sonny probably want to break in soon, but I'm thinking about Vince Young, all the potential in the world. It didn't last. The quarterback that the Raiders drafted, he had problems.
He was the only one.
Yes.
But this kid here,
yes,
Vince Young's the arm strength.
Yes.
I'm telling you, this kid is special because his progression speed
right.
is where, like, if you make a mistake with him, bam. He lost a receiver. So these guys, Florida State, they lost, but they were a little young still.
Right.
He had a lot of freshmen.
Yeah.
The Cook kid was a freshman.
Right.
The wide receiver was freshman. He had the Green kids who they probably double.
Well, it was the defense really was the problem, though. Those defensive backs,
they probably young.
Their schemes just threw them off.
But you can't take nothing from Oregon because Oregon has
They played
speed.
like a machine
Oregon
with the speed.
Speed.
Yes.
I mean, they collectively, and their defense were better than I thought.
Right.
Okay, and with that, let's go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Just Sports right here with Sonny Wells.
What's your style? Curly, straight, wavy, or maybe you like it natural? Introducing Secret Styling Hair Care Products by Smith Products Company, LLC. A complete line of hair moisturizers, shampoos, conditioners, and an assortment of other hair styling aids formulated for today's fashion-conscious consumer. Enhance your style. Get the secret.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Right back here with Just Sports with Sonny Wells in studio. Once again, Smitty and my boys in here. Finally got him in here. I said I tricked him, but he kind of knew what he was doing. Brother DC,
he's like
a.k.a. Cliff Wallow, the man.
Got a lot to say over there.
Yeah, my boy from way back, 30 years. Before we left to go to break, we were talking about football, and now we want you said you wanted to hit another game?
Yeah, the second game. Was it the Sugar Bowl? Ohio?
It was in Superdome.
Okay, Ohio and who else?
Ohio State against Alabama.
Alabama, right. Alabama was number one.
Right.
Rank-wise, anyway. So that was a great game. And, again, we saw where the underdog team prevailed, so to speak. And when you looked at Ohio's team, that running back set a record. No one had ran over 200 yards against Alabama the whole year. And the kid that I can't think of his Ezekiel, I think it.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes.
That's what you were saying in the shop.
Yeah, he ran over 200 yards.
Yes, 230.
So he looked real good in that one breakaway. He ran about 60, 70, 80 yards.
85.
85, right. So that was a great game.
He was there.
He didn't watch the game.
Here with me.
I didn't watch the game.
He read the newspaper, saw the highlights, huh?
iPad, I had it.
Yeah, okay.
Now
All
you
right.
go.
There you go.
On the iPad. No, that
So anyway,
didn't come from
it was
the
a great
iPad.
game, and it's going to be really interesting now to see Ohio State against Oregon. And who you got for that?
Well, it's going to be a tough one.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, Oregon has a lot of speed, experience, but I think traditionally that Urban Meyer is a great coach.
Okay.
And he's won 2 national championships with Florida.
Right.
And I think he's changed it around in Ohio State because I think he's recruited a lot more speed.
Okay.
Because Ohio State traditionally was known for smash mouth football.
Right.
Woody Hayes, Paul Brown, traditionally. So you're talking about a strong football school.
Right.
So I can't really.
Got that history.
Exactly. I mean, because they play basketball,
Right.
but they really are a football school.
Right.
So you got to give them a chance.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with Oregon.
Well,
State.
being in the West,
Yes.
Pac-12 needs some respect.
Okay, let's switch real. Let's go to basketball real quick. We've got some clips from Kobe Bryant coming back. And first of all, I'll get my thoughts in there real quick. I believe that Byron Scott is one of the only coaches that has respected Kobe Bryant. And I say that because other coaches, they would treat him, I think, like a specimen. Run. You can't run no more?
Yeah.
Where Byron said, look, sit down, rest, and we'll bring you back. You don't need to play right now. You're injured. You've always been injured.
Right.
And you've played like that for a while, and you never can get to your maximum capacity, especially at an older age.
Yes.
You know, so I kudos to the coach. He respects him enough to tell him to sit down.
Right.
So he sat down, and then he comes back, and let's hit that clip.
I think that's the best game that he's played the whole season.
Ooh,
as he comes off the screen. Pass beautifully underneath, and the layup is good. Boy, that's a pass that could have been intercepted. Knocked away. Mozgov, now Lawson's got it. Give it to a Flalo. He'll ride it. No! He pulls it away. Great acrobatic defensive play by Ronnie Price. Kobe's first shot, no. It's a pass to Price, who beat everybody back down.
Flalo made the mistake by not making anybody stop him. Price just playing the basket, gets up and steals.
Wesley Johnson knocks in a triple. For each first shot. Missed it. Mozgov has the rebound. High in the lane, setting up Chandler. Another three on the way. It's way long, and Kobe's got it. Kobe averages 5 rebounds a game and 5 assists. So he's a good passer as Hill drops it in. Hill off to a good start.
5 assists in the first quarter.
Backing in, he's got the height advantage. One-legged fall away, that's good.
Well, he's really, in the last handful of years, developed that, and now, because of the injuries of late, really relying on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we're watching this clip, I'll give a little commentary. You guys jump in whenever you feel like it. Kobe Bryant
That's good. 3-point.
gets the rest. He comes back. Triple-double. So, I mean, what can you say about that? My thoughts earlier on in the season, you guys were clowning me, talking about they're going to need more than Kobe, and Kobe's washed up, and he's going to get hurt, and all this other stuff. I said around Christmas that, Byron Scott will break the team down, do what he needs to do, and he's giving Kobe a new role. So, everything that
I remember you saying things, and my only thought was, if Kobe's unhealthy, then I could let him do something. So he saw the problem of him being healthy, came back to the line, so I didn't have
my help you.
What I like about it, though, is having him play the way he played against Denver. He wasn't abusing his body that much.
Well, I think
and he was using the talent that was around him.
Sometimes you sit back and look, check it all, take it all in. Maybe while he wasn't playing, he could really look at some things.
And that's why I go along with the Byron Scott. He allowed Kobe to sit back and observe the talent and see what those guys can do without him.
Well, see, Byron knows Kobe better than probably anybody.
Yes.
Because I think Byron was probably still playing when Kobe was looking.
Right.
So
his rookie season.
Some trust there has to be some kind of trust.
Yes.
People can say this, Byron's not this. Around Kobe.
Yes.
I think Kobe can play not top level. He can play just like anybody else. The way till he's 40, just like till Michael played till 40.
Well, they're playing tonight. I don't know how they're doing, but
he was okay.
Against Memphis.
And they were up.
And you can see Kobe's happy here at the end of that clip that we have.
Well, what I like about it, he's not worn down at the end of the game. the wear and tear.
They're trying to cut him back to 32 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the key.
I think he played about 25, 26 minutes.
And you got to remember, any NBA veteran in past times, they always had limited minutes. They got the respect to be able to come in, do what they could do for those limited amount of minutes, and then they got their rest.
Right.
And that's what B. Scott is doing.
I don't want to tell my age, but I remember exhibition when old pros didn't even play during exhibition.
Right. They didn't
play. They got some of the pros, the old pros didn't even play during exhibition.
No.
The young boys always played.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't burn out. You know, the star players always get rest.
Yes.
Like Kobe is still a quality player.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
People can critique him. This he can't do that. Nobody can do what they do when they was 21. He's 36.
Yeah.
Being realistic.
I really think he does it better.
The way he worked, perfected. He knew he couldn't be able to out jump because to play basketball at the age he is, he honed his skills. He made his jumper. He worked on that.
Yeah.
And that would keep you where you'll be able to score and do some things. You're not ever going to be able to jump. You're going to lose your legs the first thing to go.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why I say now, with him playing that point guard a little bit, let those jumpers jump. Let Wesley Johnson jump. Let Davis do the jump.
Well, as they say, he's savant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, he can play any position on the floor.
And then Boozer seemed to have found his sweet spot now. He's
Boozer's a quality player.
Yeah.
Regardless, he might not, people can knock him or whatever. I don't know what happened in Chicago, because coaches, he could be a coach killer or a coach could be a player killer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it still goes on with people in reality. And you can fall out with an assistant coach and a head coach get mad at you and stop playing you. I mean, it could be your wife thing or your wife. I mean, you don't never know. The NBA is the NBA.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
You seen the Glenn Rice thing. I mean, I can go back to numerous. You don't never know,
Yeah.
what's going on. But it can happen. Because you look at him now, for what they got him, he's a quality player.
Yeah.
Well, through the balance of the season, I just want to see some exciting basketball and win a few games in the process.
I think, we'll see that now.
Yes.
And they've beaten the teams they weren't supposed to beat. They beat the defending league champions,
That's
and they
right.
beat Sacramento. Who was it that whooped them by 30?
Well, this kid that he brought in, I think he went to Kansas, he went to Memphis first, Tariq Black, I think it is.
Is that the big guy?
Big, yeah.
6'11"?
He's going to put a little pressure. Sometimes you bring people in, and then, like I say, make people think their job's in jeopardy. They'll make you play hard.
Byron did that right off the bat. He made that statement.
Well, you have to.
He said, I don't want these guys to get comfortable and let them know that
even though he might be
Black has a chance to take
people might be thinking he's wrong, but that's the old school way. You can't get complacent.
Right.
Well, he's getting results. That's the main thing. He's getting results. He's beating the teams that he's not supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And the only thing supposed to happen this year is progress.
Yeah.
That's it. To come in the way he came in at such a late time and be able to get these guys to work in a cohesive unit and then deal with a person like Kobe Bryant, hey, he's the best.
Yeah.
He's
the best at what he's doing. I think he is.
But Kobe's finally realized he has to be a little bit more social, even with his players, and with his teammates. And I think, like I said, if he'd have spoke up, even though people said he could have stopped some things. He might have been able to prevent. At least he knew what he was thinking.
Yeah.
To the management.
Okay, hey, gentlemen, thank you. DC, my boy, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
See, look at your watch. I told you it went fast. Boy. I told you it was going to go fast. You look at the watch. It's over with already?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. On behalf of Pitbull, our sponsor, Johnny Morris,
Send him.
Crystal Davis Wells, the program manager here at RMC, my boy Smitty, and Chris, the engineer. Thanks for watching us here. We'll see you again next week. Just Sports with Sonny Wells.
All right. And I count it as a blessing that you hold me up now. Oh, I can tell that